Hey YouTube, I wanted to bring you guys some positive vibes because right now the world's a pretty crazy place and I think a lot of people are feeling quite scared and feeling quite isolated, and that's understandable. And so I wanted to share some thoughts that I've had about things I'm doing to try and stay positive and try and stay in a good frame of mind right now while we get through this next few months that are ahead of us. So before I go any further, I just want to say a very special thank you to all my patrons. That's Amber Evans, Billy Morpin, Cassidy Murray, Dr. J. Michael Smith, Elodie Mertzer, Emma Panzer-Carlson, Fred Backer, Jack Mikowski, Jamie Maggin, Jim Morris, Joe Bryden, Julie Kleinbach, Kathy M, Keith Waters, Ken Ridley, Kaylee Christine, Kev Watson, Chris Simpson, Kyra Allen, Naomi P, Robin Thomas, Rena Purdy, Scotty Child, Shane Burke and Sylvia Grossi. Thank you guys for supporting me, it really means so much. And if anyone else is interested in being a Patreon, you can find a link below in the description. I post lots of extra content on Patreon, which is all exclusive and only gets seen by my patrons. I've just been for a run. I'm out in the countryside in the middle of nowhere, so I'm not putting myself or anyone else at risk. I was running up this big hill and I thought, in a way, that kind of feels a little bit like life right now, yeah? We've all got this huge mountain to climb in terms of the next 3 months, 6 months, year, whatever's in front of us, however long it's going to take. And it's a pretty scary thing in some respects. I guess at the same time I thought, well, you know, I'm fairly used to climbing mountains, metaphorical ones, challenges that I put in front of myself. And I feel like certainly there's some things I'm doing at the moment and it's really helping me get through this period of self-isolation. While it is quite scary, I think it's also an opportunity to grow. I think when you're facing adversity and difficulty in your life, you have two options. You either give up and succumb to what's in front of you, or you dig deep and you find ways to adapt and overcome, and ultimately you become stronger as a result of that. So I'm kind of seeing this as a bit of an opportunity. The first piece of advice I want to give, which is going to sound super obvious, but it's something I'm doing a lot right now, and if you are feeling isolated, I do because I live on my own in the middle of nowhere, is call people up. Okay, now what I mean by this is, I'm sure like most people, 90% of the communication that I do through my mobile phone is done by text and WhatsApp and Messenger. I'm really crap for just ringing people up. And actually, I know a lot of my friends are saying the same. The last few weeks, I've just been calling people up all the time, going through my phone book. And at the very least, I make sure that at least once every day, I phone someone up and have a good chat on the phone. If anything, it's actually proving a bonus right now because I'm going through my phone book and I'm calling people that I've not spoken to for ages. And it's just becoming a much more normal thing to phone people. On top of that, I'm also doing a lot of video chat. I mean, normally if someone tries to FaceTime me, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop that, it's not acceptable. But actually, right now, it's really nice, again, to be able to do this. We all have this technology, so why not put it to good use? And certainly in terms of work and meetings and working remotely, it's really opening a lot of doors for people, but I'll come to that in a minute. The other bit of advice, and I realise this depends on where you live, but it's just to try and exercise. Now, I feel very lucky that I live in the countryside, so I can exercise, I can get outdoors and enjoy nature and fresh air without putting myself or anyone else at risk. So that's always the first thing to bear in mind here. Getting fresh air and getting outside and actually exercising is one of the best things you can do, not only for your mental strength, but also just to boost your immune system. If you're trying to do things that are going to keep you healthy right now and help your body fight off COVID virus, then being healthy, having a good diet, having a good immune system is number one. You know, we're coming into spring and all week that I'm filming this video, we've got beautiful sunshine and it's such a good thing to lift your spirits, just make you feel alive. Another thing would be using this time constructively. There's so many things that I want to do that I never have time. All of a sudden, I'm finding that I have all this time on my hands, and so I'm using it to do all the things that I've been putting off for ages. You might have a business you want to start, some idea, whatever that thing is. I've been wanting to start streaming my races online for ages, but I look at all the tech and I'm like, oh man, my head starts swimming, and I just end up putting it off and again. At the weekend, I finally got around to set up my streaming service on Lightstream. That's really just because I've had the time on my hands. Another thing has been drawing. Art and design has always been my thing ever since I was a little kid. And I've been saying for years, I want to get back into drawing because I really used to do it all the time and I love it. But I don't because I'm always really busy. Now, being as all my speaking work has been cancelled, I've gone back to graphic design, which is my degree. I've taken on a load of jobs and I'm really enjoying it. And the other morning I got up, first thing, sat down at my desk in my kitchen, and I just started drawing for this logo that I'm doing. And I was like, I'm really enjoying this. This is so fun. And actually the thing that I've been wanting to do for ages, I'm actually only getting around to doing it because of the circumstances we're in right now. Now, I'm not trying to make out that everything is rosy and perfect right now, because it's not. But I think it's just seeing the good in the situation and finding a way to adapt to it in a way that actually benefits you as well. Another thing I'm doing is meditating. And I think the last time I did a video next to some water, I was meditating. One of the biggest barriers I have with meditation is the fact that my routine is normally up and down all over the place. So I'm finding that because I'm at home every day, I'm getting into a much more regular habit of meditation, which again is really helping me stay calm, focused and grounded, and just ultimately helping me feel a lot more settled about what's happening. I think one of the best antidotes as well has got to be music. I really like having the radio on, and that's really helping me a lot actually, because I think the radio stations are doing a great job right now. I listen to Six Music a lot, and I think just the general kind of collective spirit and enthusiasm of a lot of the DJs and people phoning in, it's great to feel that, you know, we're all going through the same thing right now, and together we're stronger. And I think that's something that really comes across. And also Johnny Vaughan on Radio X 4 till 7, he cracks me up. So definitely if you want a few laughs from 4 till 7, go check him out. I think the point I'm really trying to make is that to me this feels like an opportunity, or an experience rather, that can bring us all together, to bring us closer together as a society. And I think that's a really good thing. It's clearly changing the way a lot of people work. You know, when we're having this kind of situation forced on us, and we're people having to work remotely from home, it's actually showing that so many people can change the way they work and still get stuff done. Again, this whole thing of connecting with technology and video conferencing and FaceTime, so many of my meetings I've done, even with people over in the States, wherever, I'm just doing it over video call. And you only got to listen to some of the stories on the radio that, like, I think all around the world, people are suddenly realizing that they can do this. And actually, that means they're not having to drive to work, they're not having to take trains, planes, transport, and ultimately that's massively reducing the carbon footprint for a lot of people. And so I think going forwards, there's some really positive things that are going to come out of this whole experience. Already we're hearing stories that the air quality in London has improved dramatically, that all over the world satellite imaging is showing huge changes. And so really this is a way for us to evaluate what we're doing. I think one of the biggest problems with climate change and the world we live in is that it's hard for people to really dramatically adjust the way they live and they go about their life. You know, I'm the same. When things are just always the same, and perhaps it takes something like this to really force us to look at how we live and evaluate, actually, if we have to change, then yeah, we can. You know, people often say necessity is the mother of invention. And right now, I think that's what we're going through. It's all about adapting and just doing what you can do to carry on with some kind of normality. So really that's coming to the end of my video, guys. I hope there's been some interesting ideas and some constructive things that you folks can use to, keep you feeling happy and keep your spirits up right now. Ultimately, we're going to get through this. Spring is around the corner. And I think that's going to help lift everybody's spirits quite a lot too. So do what you've got to do to stay safe, stay healthy, stay fit, stay happy, and support each other as best you can. And I'll bring you more content next Wednesday at 8 AM. So please share my videos, please comment in the box, please subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye. Man, there's a massive swarm of flies.